I gotta tell you, for many people, this was a celebration. And not because this guilty verdict meant justice for George Floyd, but because this was the first time in a long time that we saw an officer being held accountable for killing a black person in this country. Just yesterday, people right here were at Black Lives Matter Plaza. We can tell you that they were out here with cheers, tears of joy, and a collective sigh of relief, even if it was just for the moment. And that was the scene in cities across the country. People marched and held rallies after learning ex-officer Derek Chauvin was found guilty on all 3 counts that he was convicted of murdering George Floyd. Those disturbing images of Floyd's death sparked outrage last year and a national movement for racial justice and equality. People were angry, heartbroken, and passionate to make some real change happen that will prevent something like what happened in this case from happening again. And while some see this verdict as the start of a new chapter, others say the work toward police reform and equality in this country is far from over.
I stand in solidarity with George Floyd in the community, with justice being served with that. But yet, charging this cop is not going to change, nor the training, the reform, or any of that, what's going on in America with Black people today. Using him as an example is still not going to change what's going on, and it's still a whole lot more work that needs to be done.
So for a lot of folks, this moment was bittersweet. On one hand, they were happy to see that all of this work, these protests and demonstrations they had last year for George Floyd really culminated with this guilty verdict. But on the other hand, realizing that this does not bring George Floyd back. It does not account for the number of black people who were killed at the hands of police. And this does not mean that this fight toward police reform and equality is over. Back to you in the studio.
Michael Quander. Thank you, Michael.